Central Intelligence is a new action comedy film directed by Rawson Marshall Thurber. It stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart as a couple of guys who went to high school together. Kevin Hart's character Calvin was voted most likely to succeed and totally popular amongst all the kids. Kinda like how I was in school. No, I wasn't. Whereas The Rock's character, Robert, was, well, he was pretty big. He was a big fat dude who all the kids picked on and gave him a hard time because he's fat, and kids do that because they're mean. Cut to 20 years later, and things didn't quite turn out as they had planned. Calvin is now an accountant, and Robert, aka Bob Stone, is a superhero CIA agent who is on a case that requires Calvin's accounting skills. So he tracks him down and, well, teams up with him, and there's a case and there's action scenes and gunfights, and it's funny because The Rock's really big and Kevin Hart's really little, and it's funny. Now, I've got to admit, the trailer for this movie didn't work for me. I looked at it and kind of thought it seemed like 1,000 movies I've already seen before, so I was not reluctant to see it, but I didn't really have high hopes. And look, admittedly, yeah, it kind of was like 1,000 movies I've seen before, but I gotta admit, it was actually an entertaining flick. I think the main thing that I loved about the movie, the chemistry between Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart was fantastic, but I really dug, look, I'm going to call him The Rock because Dwayne Johnson's just too much words. The Rock was really, really good. His character was like, a superhero secret agent guy who would put James Bond and Batman to shame, but at the same time, he was kind of still the same dorky kid that he was back in high school. Like, for instance, when it cuts to 20 years later and we first see him again and he's wearing a unicorn t-shirt and professing his love of unicorns. Things like that was actually really, really cool, and I really dug his performance in the movie. He was actually very funny. Kevin Hart was also pretty good. He was playing, kind of a straight man who, with all the stuff going around, the gunfights, etc., he was kind of scared shitless in a way. And his performance was quite funny as well. And especially the scenes where he was bouncing off The Rock. Like, the two of them just had really good chemistry back and forth between each other. The movie was also very well directed. It was directed by the guy who did Dodgeball, which was a favorite comedy of mine from a few years back. And yeah, I didn't mind it. There was a few action scenes which lost me a little bit because they utilized that close-up hand-to-hand combat sort of fast-cutting stuff where you can't really see too much what's going on, but it didn't happen too often, and there was a few car chases and gunfights, that sort of thing, which were pretty good. I think a few of the things that let the movie down, the humor, it was okay, but it wasn't like gut-bustingly funny. There were a few jokes in the film that did have me laugh out loud, but not rolling on the floor kind of laughter, and they were few and far between, so it could have been a funnier movie. Not only that, there were some really big lapses in logic. Like, one thing, for instance, there was a scene where Calvin is looking through a window on a door at Bob, and another character who I won't say too much because it might be a bit of a spoiler, but he's never seen this character before, but he's still able to identify him even though the guy's got his back to him and he has no idea what he looks like. And there was another scene later on as well where The Rock, it's been established that he's like this incredible expert marksman, but he's having a gunfight with someone a few meters away and missing him. Things like that didn't really sit too well. And aside from that, the movie, it tried to have a message. It tried to have, well, a couple really. One was, a message against bullying, which is a good thing, and another one of making sure that you do what you want to do in life. If there's something that you really feel you need to do, time is short and you've got to do it. But the messages weren't very subtle. They were kind of bashed in our faces a little bit too much, and I thought they could have done that a lot better. But look, overall, I had a good time with it. It's probably not the kind of movie I would add to my collection when it comes out on Blu-ray. Maybe if down the track, if there was like a buy two get one free thing and I was desperate for a third option, maybe I might get it, but yeah, I don't know. As much as I had a good time watching it, it's probably not something I'd watch again. But that being said, it was a lot better than I expected, and I'm going to give Central Intelligence a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching my review. If you've seen Central Intelligence, definitely let me know what you thought of it. Drop me some comments either here or on Facebook. And if you like my channel, make sure to subscribe. Keep talking to me because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. See you next time.
Hey you there. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Click subscribe. You see the big word up the top that says subscribe? Well, click on it. Click on it now. Do it. Yeah.